The story begins when Adam Hitchens, an English conservationist, moves to Ireland with his wife Claire, their baby Finn, and their dog, Iggy. Their new home is near a forest slated for demolition, and Adam wants to conduct research before it's gone. So, while Claire starts fixing up the new house, Adam takes their baby and dog to explore the forest. When Adam sees a black slime on a tree, he scrapes off a sample. He then notices Iggy wandering off. He calls for the dog, but Iggy disobeys, so Adam decides to follow, dropping Finn's pacifier into a stream along the way. He finds Iggy barking at what looks like an abandoned structure in the middle of the woods. Some walls are up, but it's roofless and filled with debris. Grass growing through the scattered floorboards shows it has been abandoned for a long time. An animal carcass lies in an unnatural position in a corner. Adam cautiously approaches, puts on gloves, and examines its back with a magnifying glass. There's a long wound filled with the same black slime he found in the forest. Meanwhile, a man named Colm Donnelly arrives at the Hitchens house with his son. Claire sighs, as this isn't their first visit, and she knows what's coming. Colm disapproves of Adam's activities. He claims Adam is trespassing on private land, which is extremely dangerous for him and his family. Wanting Colm to leave, Claire promises to convince Adam to meet with him. But Colm insists it must be today. He finally leaves, much to Claire's relief. She walks back inside, startled to find her husband has returned through the back door. Adam is so excited about his discovery that he barely pays attention to his wife, but promises to talk to their grumpy neighbor as soon as possible. Adam examines the sample under a microscope. He's immediately fascinated when he sees one cell attacking another. The attacked cell then begins to change shape, resembling the first, as if it has been contaminated. While Claire is putting their baby to sleep, black slime starts to drip from the ceiling. It lands on the baby's blanket. She tells her husband the roof must be leaking and asks him to check the attic. Adam goes up immediately. He gets distracted by a collection of vinyl records and fails to notice a black, hair-like slime growing from the wall. He tells Claire nothing is wrong and that the leak is likely just from moisture. Adam, still excited about his work, shows Claire images of a parasitic fungus called cordyceps. He explains it works like a Trojan horse, burrowing into an ant's skull to control its host, infiltrate the colony, and spread its spores. Claire is disgusted, but Adam's enthusiasm is infectious, and she starts to get excited too. However, their romantic moment is interrupted by Finn crying over the baby monitor. Claire goes to check on him and hears glass shattering, followed by Finn's cries escalating into screams. She rushes upstairs, shocked when the bedroom door slams shut. Claire forces it open and grabs her baby. Adam notices a lamp knocked over in the corner and a broken window, concluding something was thrown through it, though he sees no one outside. Adam suspects it was Colm, angry that he missed their meeting. The police arrive a few minutes later but aren't much help, suggesting it might have just been a stray bird. Claire tries to convey the seriousness of the situation, explaining that they haven't been welcomed by their neighbors. To her surprise, the officer also seems displeased with their move to the area. He explains that the locals are very superstitious and that one local legend speaks of the woods. It claims the forest belongs to the Hallow, mythical creatures akin to fairies and goblins. Adam rolls his eyes in disbelief, insisting he doesn't believe in such things at all, but the tension is enough to disrupt the neighborhood's peace. The locals grow anxious when people meddle where they shouldn't. The officer adds that Colm had a daughter named Cora. One day, she wandered into the forest and never returned. To this day, Colm insists she was taken by creatures from the woods. After the police leave, Adam decides to gather evidence against Combe, as he doesn't buy the bird theory. He goes outside to set up a camera by the window. As he's doing so, Adam hears something moving in the bushes. Curious, he aims his camera at the bush and triggers the flash. The flash reveals a strange, shadowy figure with 2 glowing eyes. It appears for only a split second, barely visible, so Adam dismisses it as a trick of his imagination. He is more concerned by Iggy's behavior, who is growling and barking at the shed. As Adam gets closer, he hears a faint, human-like moan from inside. He decides to open it, but finds only junk. After Adam walks away, the door opens again, unnoticed by him, and the faint cry of a baby can be heard. The next day, Adam promises his wife he will talk to Combe. After fixing the window, Adam heads into town with Finn, while Claire stays home with Iggy. While cleaning the baby's room, Claire finds the black slime has formed a grotesque, fungus-like mass on her bedsheet. Unbeknownst to her, Iggy is staring at the bushes again. The dog then slowly disappears into the woods. Meanwhile, Adam arrives in town to suspicious glares from the locals. He takes the window pane to a glazier named Thomas, who says he knows what Adam is up to. Thomas then begins to speak matter-of-factly about supernatural beings. According to him, the bird the police mentioned was actually a changeling form of the Hallow, which invaded Adam's house just as they invade the forest. Thomas agrees to fix the window, but he warns it won't do much good without being reinforced with iron. Meanwhile, Combe and his son show up unannounced to see Claire. She is shocked when he suddenly appears in her house. Combe is clearly frustrated, accusing Claire of ignoring his warnings. He insists he isn't crazy like she thinks. Claire is on the verge of tears when Combe reaches into his pocket, but he just hands her an old book without a word. On his way home, Adam bends down to pick up a dropped toy. He momentarily takes his eyes off the road and nearly hits Combe, who is walking back to his farm. Luckily, Adam slams on the brakes in time. The two lock eyes with tense stares before Adam drives on through the forest. Suddenly, the music playing starts to glitch. The tape gets stuck, and the dashboard seems to malfunction. The car begins to swerve uncontrollably. Adam slams on the brakes, and the force of the stop shatters the newly repaired window. Now the car won't start. When Adam opens the hood to check, he finds it filled with a sticky slime. He goes to the trunk for tools, but something suddenly shoves him, and the trunk slams shut with force. When Adam wakes up, it's night. He finds himself trapped in the trunk, hearing his baby crying alone in the back seat. Suddenly, something begins to violently pound the car from all sides. The vehicle shakes hard as large shadows dart past the windows. The doors are battered as if something is trying to break in. Panicked, Adam rips the seat cover, reaches for his baby, and flees the car with a flashlight. The attackers seem to be gone, but the car is covered in claw marks. Hearing Iggy's bark, Adam follows the sound home and tells Claire to call the police, still firmly believing Combe is behind everything. Claire is shocked to see he's holding a rifle, but Adam says he needs it for protection. Just as they get upstairs, the power in the house suddenly cuts out, and several windows shatter simultaneously. Adam tells his wife to stay with the baby in the bedroom and lock the door securely. He then goes downstairs alone with the rifle. A flash of light comes from one room. Adam slowly opens the door, and a piercing shriek makes him accidentally fire the gun. Hearing the shot, Claire is terrified. Adam finds the room empty. The noise was just the door, and the flash was from his own camera. Though no one is in the room, it's clear the house was broken into, as everything is trashed. Adam is furious, cursing Combe and mocking the book he left behind. Claire convinces Adam that, whether he believes it or not, the safest thing to do now is to leave. After quickly packing, they go looking for Iggy. Adam finds him in the shed with something in his mouth. The dog is covered in blood, and one of its eyes is bloodshot. Adam again blames Combe. He puts a leash on Iggy and leads his family back to the car. However, as soon as they arrive, Iggy becomes agitated, breaks free from his collar, and runs off. His barks turn into pained whimpers, followed by the horrifying sound of something being torn to pieces. The two try to fix the engine. It's now covered in thick, sticky fibers. Just then, Claire looks behind them and freezes in shock. Several creatures are crawling out of the woods. They are moving towards them quickly. Terrified, Claire floors the accelerator, and the engine finally starts. As Adam is about to close the hood, she sees a line of grotesque creatures behind him. Claire's scream sends Adam running back to the car, and they speed off towards the main road. However, they are pursued by the creatures, who throw slime at the car and shatter the rear window. Suddenly, a zombie-like girl appears in front of the car. Claire loses control of the steering wheel, and the car crashes down a hill. With no other choice, they both run back to the house and try to compose themselves as Adam looks through the peephole to see if anyone followed. Something suddenly jabs him in the eye. The door begins to shake violently, and a thin tendril of slime slithers through the peephole. When the noise stops, Adam cautiously flings the door open, and his flashlight reveals a horrifying creature. Seeing it flee from the light and screech, Adam instantly realizes the monster is afraid of light. He decides to start the generator. But to do so, Adam must risk going outside. He has Claire and Finn hide in the attic, instructing her to lock the door tightly. Adam then rushes to the shed and finds the black slime has spread everywhere, including the circuit box. Meanwhile, Claire notices moisture appearing. It spreads unnaturally fast in the attic. The wood begins to rot and give way. She tries to warn her husband, but the baby monitor is out of range, so Adam only hears static. Claire prepares to protect her child, holding the door shut until a slimy arm bursts through the wood. Its claws wave through the air as if searching for her. At the same time, other intruders start climbing onto the roof, causing the tiles to be punctured in dozens of places. In the shed, Adam is in agony and starting to panic. A monster's claw nearly pierces Claire's eye, but at the last second, Adam successfully starts the generator. As soon as the lights turn on, all the creatures vanish in an instant, giving Claire a moment of relief. But when Adam touches an iron bar, he gets injured and sees black slime seeping from his palm. Back in the house, Adam feels severely affected by the light and despairs even more when he looks in the mirror and sees his eye is clearly contaminated. Adam quickly makes a makeshift eye patch and asks his wife to help install iron plates over the windows. Claire asks how he can be sure this will work and is surprised that Adam doesn't touch the iron plates at all. Soon after, Claire flinches when a monster appears on the other side of the glass but sees that it really can't get in. Adam explains to her that the generator won't last much longer. He places the baby in a cabinet with the baby monitor beside him. Claire dislikes the plan, but admits it might be the safest way. Adam starts reading the book about the Hallow and finds a chapter on changelings. Meanwhile, Claire, anxious about not seeing her baby and growing more suspicious of her husband, quietly tries to open the cabinet but screams in horror when she sees a monster snatching her baby. The creature vanishes into a wall corroded by black slime. Panicked, they both chase after Finn's cries echoing through the house. Adam follows them to the attic, finding the monster and his son. But just as he's about to grab the baby, another monster's claw bursts through the roof and slashes him across the face. Adam stumbles and falls through the door, his body hitting the floor hard as the creature escapes with Finn. Claire runs down and follows the monster into the forest, guided by the baby monitor. Adam regains consciousness and tries to tend to his leg wound. He struggles against the infection that is trying to take over his body. When Claire sees Finn's blanket floating in a lake, She immediately jumps in. She resurfaces with her baby. The creatures are still hiding in the surrounding bushes, but none try to stop her. Back at the house, Claire hesitates when Adam reaches out to hold the baby, but she ultimately trusts him and hands him over. However, Claire immediately regrets it when Adam says that this child is not hers. Claire remembers the story about the ants Adam told her and says the fungus is making him lose his mind. But Adam insists that this child is really not theirs. Adam pushes Claire away and begins to threaten the baby while pressing a nail to his own forehead. Adam actually sees a vision of the child transforming, but suddenly, Claire hits him from behind and grabs the baby back. Adam's face now looks completely normal again. Claire runs to the shed and locks herself inside as Adam relentlessly follows. He speaks to her through the door, insisting the baby is a demon and that there's no way those creatures would give Finn back so easily. Adam's words sound somewhat logical, but his voice changes rapidly. When Claire peeks through a crack in the wood, she sees Adam's face transforming. As Adam breaks through the door, Claire immediately shines a light on him and uses a long sight to defend herself, realizing Adam has become one of the Hallowed. Adam has a violent seizure, and Claire feels great pity for him as she sees the fungus sprouting from his body. But Adam quickly grabs her leg tightly. She decides to leave him behind, grabbing the camera on her way out. When Adam recovers, his body is heavily infested. He picks up a flaming scythe and goes into the forest to find his wife. Adam passes the abandoned structure and finds poor Iggy fully in the process of transforming. Creatures appear one by one, but are driven back by the bright flames. After running for a long time, Claire reaches a nearby house. She knocks on the door seeking shelter, but the person who opens it is Combe. He points a gun at Claire and mercilessly tells her to leave. He's afraid her presence will attract the monsters. Meanwhile, Adam uses his torch to navigate through the horde of creatures, until he finds a girl who seems to have fully transformed. Adam assumes she is Cora, Combe's daughter, and that the baby in her arms is the real Finn. Cora reaches out to him and slowly opens her hand, revealing the pacifier that fell in the stream. Adam tries to get closer, but Cora snarls at him fiercely. Lost in the woods, Claire uses her camera's flash to light the way, but just as she sees several monsters lurking in the treetops, the camera beeps, warning that the battery is low. A monster immediately lunges at her, and soon Claire finds herself surrounded. She repeatedly flashes at the enemies to keep them at bay, unsure of what to do next. Claire missteps and falls into a low-lying area, making her easier to surround. As the horde closes in, her camera dies completely. Just then, a familiar voice called her name. It's Adam, right beside her, holding a baby. He tells Claire that this baby is the real Finn. Claire is shocked by her husband's condition and how naturally he interacts with the creatures. But what unnerves her the most is that the two babies look identical. Adam begs her to trade them. He then stands up to fight an attacking monster until its claws pierce through his back. Seeing there's no time, Claire places the fake baby on the ground and picks up the other one. Adam is still alive as the sun begins to rise. The first rays of light hit the abandoned infant. Adam watches with an anxious heart and tears fall instantly when he realizes he was right. The fake baby is burned by the sunlight, revealing its true form before turning to dust. Adam takes his last breath as Claire arrives home safely. Not long after, the logging in the forest begins. We see that the wood being loaded onto the trucks is covered in the black slime, and that's the end of the movie.